Well, hello everyone out there listening. It is Monday night, which means it is time for yet another episode of Effin Rager. Hey everybody, this is your host Connor Clifton, joined as always by my lovely co-host Ned Gale. Ned, how the heck are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing great.
That's great. How'd your Monday going?
Oh, my Monday's going pretty good. I was feeling a little out of it, a little spaced this morning, but now I've come into my own. This is truly the best part of my Monday I was going to say every day, every week. There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. No, I'm still out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
Oh, you know me. I got a little case of the sniffles.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
man.
I got myself a little sinus infection, but, I got to the doctor, got some meds.
Is that your hip-hop name? Little sinus infection?
No.
I don't know. It's a joke. It's a music joke. Get hip to it.
No. My hip-hop name is C squared. Yep. Nope. See.
Wow, that's great.
I'm out of it. I'm just as out of it as you are.
Yeah,
man.
I see a square right in front of me.
Oh, get the hell out of the station, you butt munch. All right. Man, now I really don't want to ask you how your freaking weekend was, but I guess I should.
It was a blast.
Yeah?
No, I had a fantastic weekend. What did we do this weekend?
Well, Friday, we didn't spend the night hanging out.
Yeah. Well, we did at like 4 a.m. I think I saw.
Oh, yeah. You got home really late and we hung
yeah.
out a little bit.
And then Saturday, we hung out. Oh, we stopped by an open mic at Retrospect.
Yeah, done by our friend Joe Crawford.
Yeah. And that was a blast. I had
it
such
really
a good
was.
time.
Yeah, it was cool to see something that, an open mic event that had such a fun, free, chaotic energy going on.
Yeah, let me see if I can get the info on that.
Yeah,
It's
please
what
do.
Saturday of the month was that?
It was
just
the third
now.
Saturday of the month.
Okay, so I believe third Saturday of the month.
Every third Saturday of the month, it's going to
3
be at
to
Retrospect.
5 or something.
From 3 to 5, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was not ready to plug this.
But, hey, we talked to Joe afterwards, and she agreed to come onto our show, so we'll definitely be able to talk about that.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. We got to hang out with our friend Nick, and we did a lot of work on the Effin Rager Nights that's going to be happening this
I'm sorry,
Saturday.
what is that? Tell me more.
Effin Rager Nights is the new live stream talk show that you and I have been talking about doing for years and are finally now doing in our own apartment.
Wow.
I am so excited for this.
That honestly, and this isn't the first time I'm hearing about it, but it feels like it because that sounds like a freaking blast, my friend.
It's going to be a freaking blast. It feels like the first time you're hearing about it because it's always so surprising that we're actually going to do it.
Yeah, my eyebrows, top of my skull right now.
I can't even see them.
Surprised.
They shot up. They're running around the room. Get them. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. We are so excited to bring this show to you guys. And Sunday, we had a big meeting about it. We're finally working out all these different kinks. We've got a couple more rehearsals to do, but I think we're going to pull it off.
Yeah. With the amount of kinks we worked out, the kink community is also eyebrows to the sky.
All right. I think that was the rest of my weekend.
Yeah.
Didn't really do much. Played a new Kirby game.
Oh, yeah, the new Kirby game was sweet. I did some swimwear practice Sunday night. We're learning a bunch of songs from the movie Labyrinth.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm definitely going to ask you more about that in our plug segment.
Finally.
Because I know there's going to be a lot of good information.
There's a lot, yeah. Eyebrows, once again, touching clouds.
All right. It's December. It's Monday.
It is.
Every Monday we've been doing something pretty cool this month. We've been talking to people who grew up with different religious backgrounds than ourselves, which has been a challenge. Not talking about it, just finding people. We've realized that we have a very insular community where we only know people who with similar backgrounds. And then
it's crazy. We know all these atheists.
Yeah. But one thing is that as we've been talking to our friends more and more, scratching the surface, we found out first week, our friend Rahul, he had this whole life that he had never told us about growing up Hindu. And then we met a fantastic slam poet, Muhammad Yunus last week, who talked to us about being Muslim and growing up and having Islam carry him through poetry. And that was such an interesting conversation. And this week, before we get to our guest, we're going to learn about Judaism. And I wanted to play a snippet, a small piece of this conversation I had with Rabbi Kenny Weiss, who runs Houston Hillel, which is a Hillel organization is usually based on a college campus, and it's for Jewish students to go and congregate and meet and go on activities together. And what makes Houston Hillel so different is that it serves as the hub for all the colleges, all 5 colleges here in the city of Houston. So U of H, Rice, HBU, but let's be honest. St. Thomas and, there's another one. TSU. Yeah, I got them all. So, yeah, they're there for everybody. And I wanted to play a little bit of this. And the Raw interview is, we're going to find a place to put it. But new phone.
Who dis?
Always a problem here. All right, here we go. This is a little piece of my interview with Kenny Weiss.
So the most fundamental is Shabbat, every seventh day. From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is Shabbat. And that's the most important Jewish holiday of the year.
What?
That happens every week.
What does it entail?
Day of rest. You know, Jews, like lots of people in lots of different communities, have a spectrum of observance. And so for some Jews, it could mean observing Shabbat in a very traditional sense, which means refraining from the various categories of work that were involved in building the tabernacle that the Israelites carried through the desert, which is one of the reasons why some Jews don't drive on Shabbat, because one of the prohibited activities is creating a fire, and the internal combustion engine is considered creating a fire, so some Jews don't drive on Shabbat. But then for other people on the spectrum of observance, it might not be anything at all. You know, it might be something that some Jews don't even recognize, or recognize every once in a while in one way or another. So right now we're in the middle of the holiday of Hanukkah, which is not at all a major Jewish holiday. It's more major in the United States through its proximity to Christmas and the greeting card industry.
Wait, really?
Hanukkah's a really minor holiday. Totally minor. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are you pulling my leg?
Not at all. Minor holiday. You know, the big holidays are the three pilgrimage festivals in Judaism: Sukkot, Shavuot, and Pesach, right? Passover. Sukkot, also known as Tabernacles. Yeah. Those are the three pilgrimage festivals. Most people also know about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which happen in the fall, the high holy days. Shabbat is more important than all of those holidays, and Hanukkah ranks below all of those holidays also.
Man, growing up, it was Christmas and Easter were way more important than going to church every week. For me, for my family at least.
Right, and so for a lot of Jews, American Jews, that would be true also, right? High holidays, Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah would be more important, and you'd get the larger number of people being observant at those times, if observance means going to synagogue. Passover and a Passover Seder is actually the most widely observed Jewish ritual holiday celebration. Although for a lot of people it's just having dinner. It's not the whole Seder with the book and the telling of the story and all of the rituals that are involved in it. But yeah, Hanukkah tends to get pushed up because of its proximity to Christmas.
And see, all right, that's part of my conversation with Kenny Weiss, Rabbi Kenny Weiss of Houston Hillel. If you guys want to hear more of that, it's about a 30-minute conversation, and we will be putting it up somewhere on our RSS feed. We haven't figured it out yet, but it'll be out there. And you could hear it in the interview, I totally thought Hanukkah was the big one, and I was quite surprised. It turns out I know absolutely nothing. And our guest today, she's Jewish, yes. But
so she's got to know absolutely something.
Yeah, she's got to, hopefully everything that we need to know. But she's also a fantastic photographer here in the city of Houston, and she is one of the pillars of the Rec Room Theater that is based out here as well. Please, everybody, welcome Tasha Gorel. Hey, Tasha. Oh,
hello.
You're coming in.
Oh, there she is.
There we are.
Here she comes.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
all right.
Okay, you're here finally.
Yeah, always some technical issues going on.
It's okay.
So yeah, you heard the interview.
Yeah.
I was totally taken aback. I had no idea that Hanukkah was not a big
not a
one.
thing.
Yeah, and a greeting card industry? When did that happen?
America, probably. Yeah, Hanukkah is not really a big thing at all. When I was in Israel last week, like all of my Israeli friends were like, so what are you doing for Hanukkah? It's such a big deal. And I'm like, they were all making fun of me. And I was like, I'm not sure. I really don't know why we celebrate it at all. They were like, well, we don't celebrate it at all. Like Israeli Jews kind of just bypass it completely.
Wow.
Completely, yeah. They don't give gifts on Hanukkah. They give gifts on Purim.
Purim? That's Passover?
No, that's a different one.
Oh, crap. All right. All right, so which one's Purim?
Purim is the one that you're supposed to get super drunk during, and everyone wears costumes.
What's the catch?
There is no catch. It's like the best Jewish holiday, honestly. It's the one about Queen Esther. Y'all familiar with Queen Esther, this story? Where she like...
The concept.
Yeah?
But not, no,
Okay, yeah.
no, please.
Basically,
I've heard of them.
Okay,
but
yeah, of them. Great. So
I got their first album.
Oh man, that's a good name. So basically, the concept is that she is Jewish and she marries this king Ahasuerus. I think that's how you say it. Okay.
We won't stop you.
Thank you. And she doesn't tell him that she's Jewish. And she marries him, and
Good
her
power
uncle,
move.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like this really big feminist empowerment holiday. And her uncle's like, you have to tell him that you're Jewish because he's gonna kill all of the Jews that don't bow down.
Ooh.
So she tells him that he's Jewish, and then he doesn't make Jews bow down, and we celebrate it by getting super drunk.
That's tight.
It's
That's
awesome. And then in Israel, they give gifts on that holiday.
yeah.
Okay, no gift giving in America?
No,
No.
that's Hanukkah
Okay, so Hanukkah is the gift giving one.
in America.
All right. Now, he mentioned some other holidays. There was, wait. First off, instead of going through these holidays, I want to ask you, can you give us some good Purim stories?
Yeah, so I think
boy,
like
you're
the most
eyebrows.
If you remember
radical
Purim.
yeah, the most radical Purim I had was when I was like a junior or senior in
Once again,
college.
Radical Purim got their first album.
Right. By the Queen Esters. So it was my senior year of college, and the Orthodox rabbi at Hillel in Austin was having this big Purim party at his house. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It'll be fun. I'll go. I walk in. There is literally, there's 20 people there for the dinner, because it's a dinner that you like tell the story and drink and eat. He has 200 bottles of wine. I am not kidding. 200 bottles of wine that we went through during the night, telling the story. And every single time that there's like different times you're supposed to drink, so you're just like drinking the entire time, and then you're supposed to get so drunk that you cannot tell the difference between the bad guy and the good guy of the story. And that was crazy. And then most like synagogues do Purim spiels, which tells the story of Queen Esther in like some horrible kitschy way. So in high school, I was in a lot of Purim spiels where you have to like, it's like Purim in the tune of Beatles. So then you like sing all these songs about Purim to like ridiculous Beatles songs.
Yeah,
It
sounds like a blast.
It was really fun. I mean, everyone, now that I'm realizing it, all the adults were probably drunk while they were watching us children.
Now do Beatles.
Exactly. Now do Rugrats. Now do Beatles. Yeah, no, it was ridiculous.
Do y'all know the band Bread?
I guess the closest for us, that would be the Passion plays. Did you have to do that?
I didn't have to do any Passion plays.
Are they comedies?
Oh,
The Passion of the Christ is
Not a
far from a
comedy.
comedy.
Okay,
depending on how you play it.
yeah. The Passion is just like every Easter, I believe, the Sunday school kids come out and they all dress up as the characters of Pontius Pilate, Barabbas, Jesus, the big ones, and they tell the story of Pontius Pilate saying, all right, Jesus has to be
They always find the
crucified."
Sunday school bully to play him.
I think at one point, I forget if Jesus or Barabbas, basically one character shows up and everyone has to shout, liar! And it's,
Man, I did not have to do this.
We have something like that with Purim. So whenever the bad guy Haman comes out,
Haman, you boo him, right?
We have groggers, right? So there's these like noise machines that have like clicks inside. They're like, and it makes this horrible noise.
How did I not go to these Rocky Horror Picture shows?
Oh my God, that's exactly
religions.
what
I was
it is.
Catholic.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I'm
yeah.
surprised as a Catholic you
Don't
didn't
have
do the
something
Passion
like that.
plays.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised too. Maybe I just didn't get cast and they didn't.
I didn't want to tell you.
No, your parents
No
were
one
like,
tell
no
Ned.
son of mine is going to be a theater kid.
No
You're staying
performer.
out here."
Yeah.
Look
nice
at me
try.
now, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got through Purim.
Yep,
One of the other ones you mentioned was Sukkot or Tabernacle. Can you walk us through that? Can you do that
Yeah,
one?
I can kind of. So, like, I grew up Reformed Jewish, which means that we're like Jewish, right? Like, we don't really do such bad joke. Oh my god,
It's never been made on this show.
Have you heard the first
great.
10 minutes?
Fantastic. So like I didn't really celebrate Sukkot that much, but what I can tell you about it is that it's supposed to bring in the harvest. So it's supposed to it's the springtime holiday, and Jews build sukkahs in their yards, which are these shacks that are like built out of straw and wood, and the roof is supposed to be straw so you can see the stars while you are eating in the sukkah, and you're supposed to decorate it with different specific fruits. I don't even remember what they're called. It's something that looks like a lemon and something that looks like a stalk. And you're supposed to like smell it for the freshness of the spring. And you're just supposed to welcome in the springtime under the sukkah to have a good harvest. That's the whole idea behind this holiday.
I like all of these. These
They're
sound
really fun,
great. Yeah.
honestly. They're
Okay.
fun holidays that are all centered around eating and drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you didn't celebrate it too often.
Yeah, so I had some growing up Orthodox Jewish friends, and we would always go over to their house for Sukkot, and we would eat in their sukkah. So we would like just eat and smell the yumminess and eat some more and talk. They're really like most Jewish holidays are just about like Jews getting together with other Jews and like celebrating these holidays that are,
How big is a sukkah? Like
it depends. I mean, I've been in a sukkah before that's as big as this sukkah.
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 I'm gonna
Sukkah.
get you sukkah.
It's
What do you
a
say?
sukkah.
It's a sukkah.
Sukkah.
It's like a long ooh.
Sukkah.
Sukkah.
The ones that I were in were like as big as this room, but some of them are as big as the studio. Huge.
Wow.
Huge. Like the Chabad house at UT had like a huge sukkah that so many people would come under. It was really kind of cool, actually, looking back on it.
That sounds very kind of cool. Yeah.
It is very communal.
We have nothing like that.
No.
Yeah, we shake hands at mass.
That's my least favorite
and
part.
if you're
of
sick, you just have to be like, not this week.
I would say I was
not
sick.
this time.
Yeah, I just bring in some Kleenex just in case and be like, I don't feel so
I
good.
got the little sniffles.
Yeah, I don't know if you've had to do this at Shabbat. Yes, okay.
Vocab word.
AKA church for us.
Right, sure.
But we do the peace be with you, where we just have to shake hands with everybody around us.
Okay, what's so funny
Confirmation of
about
faith, that's what I call
Shabbat
it.
Shalom? So this is it's Shabbat Shalom, right? It's like right before the last prayer. And at my temple growing up, whatever this would happen, it was like the time for everyone to just start talking.
Yeah, oh,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
wish everyone around you Shabbat Shalom. You'd be like, so how's your week going?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, very good. Oh, what happened? Okay, interesting. How was the ballet concert? And then they'd be like, we're back for the final prayer, which is always like the prayer for the dead people. So it was always a little awkward.
Now that it's
But-
all out of your systems,
Yeah,
we have some dead people we have to pray for.
Ex-
Like,
oh,
come on.
They start rolling the in memoriam. All the people who
Music's
died.
getting louder and louder.
Oh man. Okay, so then there's Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur, yeah,
right.
the Day of Atonement. Well, we should really talk about,
Yeah,
right, Rosh Hashanah first, because they're kind of like sister holidays.
Okay.
So Rosh Hashanah is the New Year. It happens at like in September, October, depending on how the moon is.
Oh, because I was gonna say, wait a minute.
We are
September.
moon people. We are moon people.
What are
not
you, my
sun
ex?
people.
No.
We are.
Jews being moon people is not the stance that Effin Rager takes. Like, I just want to get that out there. KPFT
Let me be
is
the
in
one
enough
to
hot water.
So we go by the lunar calendar. I can say that, okay? So it's just the New Year where we're like supposed to like. Am I getting this backwards? No, Rosh Hashanah is definitely first. Where you're just supposed to like
the phone lines are going off here.
bringing in the new year, and then Yom Kippur happens, I think, 12 days later, where you're atoning for all the sins of the year before.
Okay.
But now that I say it, I feel like it might be reversed. They happen very close to each other.
That's kind of culturally, we've got Lent, and where Ned and I are from, Mardi Gras is before Lent. So Mardi Gras, we party like crazy,
Right.
and then Ash Wednesday, we go in hungover and get ashes on our foreheads and then puke in the parking
Yeah,
lot.
I'm pretty sure Rosh Hashanah is first. I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure. And then on Yom Kippur, you fast.
Okay.
You're supposed to fast all day, which just means there's a bunch of hungry Jews in temple looking at their like clocks, like ready to eat.
When you do the Shabbat Shalom, is everyone just talking about where they're going afterwards?
Pretty much. And some people
Yeah.
like bring stuff in their purses. So like as soon as it's over, it's like, need a cookie. Okay. And you're also, a tradition during Yom Kippur is that you are supposed to throw bread into a running stream that's a symbolizes all of your sins of the year.
Ducks love
so you're
you
just,
guys.
Love it. Love it. So you just like throw like loaves of bread, depending on your sin level, into the...
You see a guy come in with
into
like
the
a huge cart of bread. You're like,
Exactly.
what do you do?
What did you do
Don't
last
mind
year?
me, just for the whole family.
And
Yep.
then, my favorite part of the service of Yom Kippur is like that is when God decides if you are going to be written into the book of life or the book of death. So like all of the vocabulary and the metaphors in the service are very much about the book of life or the book of death. It's like very, very dark.
Is this like Santa's naughty or nice list? What's the difference between these?
I don't really. I mean, God only knows, I guess, at that point. He like decides on this day whether you're going to live or die this year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like
Sign
on
the
this
death
day-
waiver.
Exactly. Literally.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a bummer. Yeah, Santa Claus just decides whether I get my Hot Wheels or
Yeah.
not.
No, this is about death. It's a little darker. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about some fun Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur times you've had.
Yeah. Well, Yom Kippur, so like the best thing about these holidays, they're the high holidays. Are y'all familiar with this term, high holidays in Judaism?
Different definition, probably.
Cool, yeah, same probably. So as the rabbi was saying, the holiest day is Shabbat, which happens every week. But besides Shabbat, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are the two highest holidays. So like even if you don't celebrate anything and you're not really a part of the religion at all, you will go to synagogue on Rosh Hashanah and Yom
This is
Kippur.
like Christians have CEO, Christmas, Easter only. I assume that's the
yes,
same.
it's the same thing. So this is really the time that you like gather with your family and you all come together and eat and talk. And there's big meals associated with these holidays. Rosh Hashanah has like this huge lunch that happens where you eat apples and honey. There's like a bunch of songs, apples and honey on Rosh Hashanah. So that's like a big thing, apples and honey. Actually, my roommate came over for Rosh Hashanah this year, and then we had a dinner party the other day, and she served apples and honey. And I was like, JC, are you just trying to be a little Jewish here? She's like, it was delicious. I never would have thought about it. So we do that. And then on Yom Kippur, of course, after you've been fasting all day, you get together with your family and you eat this huge meal. That's like enough for like 12 meals. So that's always really fun to be able to do that and stuff your faces.
Yeah.
I'm talking about food a lot.
Man, I just feel every person we've had on for these segments, they talk about these grand meals where you're just eating all day.
Yeah.
And the food sounds amazing. And then I'm thinking we got
stale body bread.
yeah, we got stale body bread. We've got the green bean casserole, just like a dried turkey. It's the same stuff every year.
A Jello salad, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we
Nah,
have
that's
kugel.
not right.
What's
What-
kugel?
Ooh, yeah, what's that?
You guys, kugel is like, so imagine like a lasagna, right? Okay, so it's
I'm
wait, hold on,
listening.
hold on, back up.
Like a
So
sheet cake.
it is the pasta of a lasagna, but it's filled with like sweet cream cheese and berries and like all of this delicious sugar.
If I wasn't on public radio, I'd be swearing right
It
now.
is so good. And like this is the thing, like who brings the kugel and the blintzes? These are like traditional high holiday foods. Blintzes are like similar like pastries that are like stuffed with cheese. We are really into the sweet and savory.
What are we doing,
I don't
Connor?
know.
We are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have nothing good to say about my religion right now.
This month has been watch Connor and Ned quickly lose their faith.
Yeah, we are salivating and doubting our
Oh
religion.
God, it's so good. It really is.
Every festival is so much more colorful and food filled. What do we got?
Wait,
Christmas?
Easter, we have Easter eggs.
Those aren't good. Pastel colors? What is it, 2008? Come on.
Yeah, everything just looks like a chubby dad every Easter. Christmas is, I mean, we just give a lot of gifts.
We surrendered to Coca-Cola years ago. Christmas is dead.
I don't know. I'm sure there are other holy days, and I mean, Palm Sunday?
Cool.
I don't even know what Palm Sunday is. I thought it was when they fanned Jesus with palms while he walked down to Via Dolorosa. I know what that is.
Do you get to feast on that day? Do y'all have any big feasting?
You get to-
holidays?
After
get to bring-
church, you go to Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box.
Your parents finally took you to Skeeters.
Great.
You've been begging all
Love
week.
it.
And the reward for getting through church. Now,
I got an F palms from Cody.
yeah, all right. So get palms or something.
Yeah.
We definitely, one of the things we've learned when doing this is that, okay, we got to ask, afterlife. Do you guys have a hell? in
Yeah,
Judaism?
what's the sitch?
You don't have a hell?
No hell.
Are we the only religion that hell?
Oh my God, you guys! I have to tell you the
What
way
the
that
hell?
this was described to me once. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me try to remember this story about. So we do not have a hell. There's 7 layers of heaven, like a bean dip. Okay,
What?
there's 7
Okay,
layers,
all right.
and
So
like
heaven gets better and better?
Well, not exactly.
No, much
I
worse.
think the idea, it's like you're gonna go to heaven, but depending on how good you were, you'll be at different levels. So the way that I heard hell in Judaism described once was like you're sitting at this, of course it's about food, you're at this really big table eating this delicious dinner, okay? And you can only eat by like helping the person next to you eat, okay? So you're trying to like serve
That's hell?
them. Wait, no, that's heaven. Hell is where you're doing it, but like you don't have any hands, so you're just like having to smell the food, and you have to like. It's like basically the idea is it's not as easy.
I thought you were going to say feeding people with your mouth. I was like, that just sounds like a cool high school party.
No, we do not have hell. That's not a thing.
That sounds kind of like a Twilight Zone episode ending, where it's like you have to feed all these people. It's like, well, I love volunteering, that's great, but you have no hands.
Figure it out, Jews. Yeah.
So that's just the word. That's hell. Mm-hmm. See, we've been so frustrated. Every religion we've talked about doesn't have this thing that guilts you into being a part of it.
Oh, but there is so much guilt in Judaism. Don't think that we're like,
They're the closest guilt adjacent.
We are a guilt-filled culture. I mean, we've all heard of Jewish guilt. So it may not be necessarily in our like Torah, right? Not a part of the doctrine, but it's embedded in our culture. Like every single Jew
ours
that
is
you
written
know.
clear on the manual.
No, ours is like it's learned through like thousands of years of suffering and like all of this like animosity we've gone through. It's like created this group of people that is like amazing at making you feel bad if you're not doing what they want you to do. It's fascinating. Yeah.
So the guilt is just like a cultural put upon. Oh, sorry, I didn't know. So the guilt is just culturally put upon people by family members?
Correct.
Does it come from clergy, or like if you went to Hebrew school?
Not so much. No.
See, ours
not in
comes from-
America though. I can't really speak to Jews elsewhere. Like in Israel, it's a very different religion. It's a very different religion. Jews in Israel would consider Orthodox Jews in Israel would consider my kind of Judaism like I'm not really Jewish.
Oh man. Mm-hmm. Well, we think you're all right.
I'm here.
Yeah. I mean, you're the Jew we know.
Yeah, great. Honorary Jew, Tasha Gorel, here for you.
Wait, hold on. Don't say honorary. You said that you were Jewish.
No, I am. No, 100%. I am.
Oh, crud.
Yeah.
We just, growing up, it wasn't just, I don't know about your family. My family definitely had some guilt stuff going on. But the people involved in the church were the ones really laying down the guilt. I went to a private school, and it was, if you bully some other kid, you're going to hell. And so that was our thing of like, oh crap, I'm never going to bully anyone again.
No.
And hell is not just you don't have hands. Hell is you have hands and they are getting grinded up every day, and then you wake up with new hands and you just have to grind
them.
Yeah. And then a bird pokes you in the eye and he's like, you suck, and you have to deal with that.
Hell sounds awful, and I don't want to go to it. So should I switch to a religion without one?
That's a cool cop-out move. I think God would be like, Man, I didn't think you'd think of that.
Yeah.
Jews are kind of like hesitant about accepting even converts, like a lot. I mean,
they know they got a good thing going,
right? Like, not to rain on your parade here, but like, honestly,
we've had a whole month
there
of it,
are
don't worry.
so many Jews, like Orthodox Jews, and even some conservative Jews, who, if you are not born Jewish, you will never really be Jewish. And if you want to convert, you have to ask the rabbi 3 different times and be turned down 3 different times before you can begin the process. So it's kind of like a...
That makes me kind of want it more.
That's the point.
Yeah. I like when religions play hard to worship.
We're a little hard to worship over here.
I mean, all you got to do is believe in John 3:16, and then you're automatically a Christian, I guess.
There we go.
Which I spent so long believing in Stone Cold Steve Austin 3:16.
And what's that?
What's up? I don't even know.
No.
What is it?
I don't know. You're the one who said it, buddy.
Just making jokes here.
I am
Saw it on a t-shirt.
like horribly not informed about Christianity. The more that I talk to my Christian friends, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
It's drab.
In my first year of college, I took a course where... So U of H is an incredibly diverse campus. And it was the first time that I really was immersed in a lot of different cultures that were not my own. And we read Genesis in this course. And we had to read Genesis and I believe the book of Luke. The book of Luke. The only book where Jesus advocates violence. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Throw that out in a college course. Head spin. Anyway... So the student turns to me and he's talking about how silly Christianity is to him. He's like, you worship a zombie. Like, what is that? I'm like, well, hold on. Like, he's not like a Walking Dead kind of zombie. He's just...
He came back from the dead. How are you not... your eyebrows should be touching the sky.
Yeah. I mean, some people saw him afterwards, right? I don't know. Basically, Christianity. God got a lady pregnant, Mary, and then she gave birth to him in a manger.
Right.
And that's Christmas.
Sure.
And then he died and came back, and that's Easter.
Okay.
And then one time he walked around the desert for 40 days, and then that's Lent, where we have to give something up for 40 days.
We have 40. Too.
Yeah, 40's a big number. 40 days and 40 nights. Noah.
Yeah, and the Jews wandered the desert for 40 years.
All right, well, it's not a contest.
Yeah,
but
brag much. Yeah.
Just, it's fine. It's okay.
It is interesting to see numerology as such a big role in all these different religious texts. 12 is a very significant number. 40, I see. 7.
13 is really big for Jews because it's I'm pretty sure in Judaism the alphabet has numerical, each letter equates to a number, and the word for life is chai, and when you add the 2 letters that you use to create the word chai, it's 13. So giving $13 dollars or $26 on people's bar and bat mitzvahs, going in increments of 13 is pretty big.
I think that ties into divine mathematics. There's a Wikipedia article.
I don't know much about this. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm no expert, and I don't want to get called out on our forums or whatever.
But if you do want to call, you can call in at 713-526-8737 and talk to us about, whatever.
Yeah. So I want to ask some questions about you growing up Jewish. Okay. Did you have a bat mitzvah?
Yeah, I had a...
Did you have a themed bat mitzvah?
Kind of. The theme was Israel. My sister and I...
real original.
Yeah, right? My sister and I got...
we have a phone call.
Do you mind if we take a call?
Go for it.
Hi, you're on Effin Rager.
Hi, this is Mr. Hilton. Can I please... This is Effin Rager, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Wait, is this Mr. Hilton of hotels?
Is this Conrad Hilton?
Yeah, exactly. Is that Ned Gale on the other line?
That is me. Yeah. What's up, Mr. Hilton? Mr. H.
Oh, Ned. I'm glad I got a hold of you because I wanted to offer you an exclusive trip to one of our fabulous getaways.
This is junk mail. This is junk mail. This is not real. Is this real? What's your fabulous location?
Well, where do you want to go, Netty boy?
Anywhere but this phone call.
Can I come?
Maybe Connor, but okay.
All right, that's enough.
He's out of here.
Wow.
Why did we get junk mail here? I should
That
stop
doesn't make any
putting
sense.
this phone number as my...
Yeah.
I'm surprised he was calling from the grave. Conrad Hilton's been dead for a long time.
Wait, what?
Anyway.
So,
What were we saying? Bat mitzvah.
bat mitzvah.
bat mitzvah.
Right.
Yeah,
I went with
Israeli
my sister.
themed bat
Yes, we
mitzvah.
went to Israel for our B'nai mitzvah, which is what it's called when two girls get bat mitzvah together.
We just call it combining birthdays.
Oh, I'm
Sure,
sorry.
yeah.
Someone's calling again. I hope it's not Hilton
Is it
again.
Mr. Hilton?
I don't know who it could be.
Hi,
Yellow?
you're on Effin Rager.
Hey, it's Conrad. Looks like we got disconnected.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, all right. Well, Ned, okay, you can go to any one of our fabulous...
Oh, man.
All right, I'm gonna not take a call for a little bit. I want to hear this story.
Okay. I'm sorry. B'nai mitzvah?
B'nai mitzvah.
B'nai mitzvah.
And if it's with a boy, it's a benot mitzvah.
Okay. And is that... So, do it one... Is that... Does that number go up? Like, if it was 3... Is
No,
that
it's just, this is the plural.
Okay,
of bar
plural.
or
Gotcha,
bot.
gotcha.
Uh-huh. So we went to Israel with our family, and we were trained. We did our bat mitzvah prep in Houston.
Okay.
And then we pretty much hired like a mail-to-order rabbi in Israel who was this ridiculous, huge New York Jew that had moved to Israel, who like wrote this book and did like these ceremonies for kids who come to Israel to do their bar, bat mitzvah, or benot, or b'nai mitzvah. And we did it on the Eastern Wall, which is not the West, the Wailing Wall, the Western Wall, the wall that women are separated on. So we went to the east part of the temple, and we did our b'nai mitzvah there. And it was a really beautiful ceremony. My sister and I read from the Torah. Our entire family, I have a bunch of family in Israel. They all came. They all thought that Danya and I were fluent because we were that good reading the Torah. So that's what I did for bat mitzvah. And then when I came back to the States, of course, we had a party. And we did have a themed party. The theme was rodeo.
yeah.
Because we are Texans and we wore literal dresses that were made out of like handkerchiefs. This was like our theme. She wore a skirt.
rules.
It was amazing. It was this awesome party at a country club that all of our friends came to, and I still have like the photo albums. We were 13-year-olds. I should have known then. I had like a life of partying ahead of me.
13-year-olds at a country club. How'd you rope them into that one?
This is like
Cowboy
the
jokes.
thing. Y'all know that. Did y'all go to bar bat mitzvahs growing up?
I went to a bar mitzvah
I went
once.
to a bat mitzvah once.
Once. So I went to a season of bar bat mitzvah. Like literally my bar bat mitzvah class was 30. So every single weekend I would go to a different country club dressed in some stupid cocktail dress that I got at Dillard's on sale the year before, trying to like slow dance with it's like very terrible to make young children going through puberty to have to like sing from the Torah and then go to these parties where it's just ridiculous. So yeah, that was
short
my
guys and tall women.
that was my experience. Yeah, I was 5'5" at 12. So, like, what do we
Dang.
expect here? You know? Yeah, I was this size when I was a child. Yeah.
So you mentioned the Wailing Wall, and I wanted to tell the story. I've also been to Israel. I
Right.
went to Jerusalem in college. It was
Well,
fun.
thanks for the invite, both of you.
Hey, Tasha and I had a blast. I don't know what your problem was.
That's good. Wow.
But we went to the Wailing Wall, and I got to go up to it and touch it and pray and put one of my prayer
Notes.
scrolls into the wall, and it was beautiful. And there's a picture of me like having this really great moment. But I'm wearing zip-off pants, flip-flops, and a Buc-ee's t-shirt with that big old beaver on it. And I'm just like, thumbs up with my hand on the wall. And later people see it and they're like, this is the most disrespectful thing you could have done.
Oh my God.
You're going to be used in a Buc-ee's ad.
Did you have like an emotional response the first time you were at the wall?
At the wall, no. There was a temple that I went to go pray at that I felt like I was praying for 3 hours, and it was 10 minutes. And they had to be like, Connor, come on, we're going. I did have like a genuine spiritual experience there that has kept me from saying that I'm an atheist.
It happens
Yeah.
in the Holy Land
Yeah.
for strange reasons.
There's something in the water, I
There's
guess.
something in the water.
Yeah, I did get to go into Dead Sea.
I was going to say, did you go to the Dead
I
Sea?
did. I floated. Yeah, I floated like a beach
I
ball,
would
man.
hope
It was
so.
something else. I remember like sitting there and giggling, just like,
That's everyone who's told me about that. It's like, that's
Yeah.
exactly, they're like, that freaking floated, man.
It's amazing.
Cover yourself
Yeah.
with mud,
Uh-huh.
and your skin is
Oh,
smoother than
it's
it'll
so
ever
lovely.
be.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
You gotta go to the Dead
I'll go next
Sea,
week.
cover yourself in mud,
Yeah.
go in and cleanse yourself. No, it's really lovely.
Awesome.
It
And
is.
I ate hummus all the time.
Oh my God. So this last time I got back from Israel like 2.5 weeks ago, I was there for 10 days. I had 6 shawarmas while I was there, which means I was like having a shawarma every other. Oh my.
That
the
sounds
food.
good. The food is pretty
Again,
good.
we're back to the food.
Yeah.
Jews are just about food. This is it.
So there's one holiday we didn't talk over, Seder.
Seder.
Yeah, and
Passover.
all I know about that is that it's basically a big meal.
It's
What-
a long meal.
Ooh, okay. Wow,
You said that with a lot of. It's a real long one.
Yeah, it's a trek.
Wait, how long? How long it? How long it?
How long it? Some Seders can be like 10 hours long.
Yeah, sign me up.
Because you
but
go
still
through,
one course.
Yeah, no, it's a million courses, and it's very symbolic. So we have a Seder plate, which has all of these different symbols. Like there's a lamb bone, there's parsley, there's bitter herbs, there's the sweet, what is it called? Haroset, there's an egg, and they all symbolize different things. Some very progressive Seder plates have an orange, which somehow symbolizes something with women. I don't know what an orange is.
Aren't
Anyways,
you glad there's women?
I guess so. So it's in a huge Seder with as many people show up, and you all have a Haggadah, which is the specific, it's not a prayer book, it's the story book that everyone gets one, and you go around the table and everyone has a different part. And usually Seders are held by the matriarch of the family, or the patriarch, but mostly the matriarch. And you go and you have different people have different parts that they read. There's a story about the 3 sons or the 5 sons, numbers again. It's like this very symbolic holiday that's Exodus, about the Jews leaving Egypt. A lot of songs in that one as well.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matzah, it's that one.
I still haven't had matzah.
What? You're not missing anything.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I had matzo balls
Some people,
in New York.
Matzo balls are a very different story from
completely.
matzah.
Oh, okay.
Like matzo balls are tender and supple, and they taste great when they're dunked in soup. And matzah is just cardboard. And my friend Dan so my mom buys like 50 boxes of matzah every Passover.
That's a lots of matzah.
It's lots of matzah. And
Yeah.
she doesn't even eat the lots of matzah. She tries to pawn it off on me. And I'm like, I don't want this. So I gave my friend Dan 10 boxes of matzah. I come back 2 weeks later. I'm like, Dan, where's the matzah? He's like, oh, I ate all of it. So some people are really into it.
Well, I mean,
You know.
if I got a box of communion crackers, I'd go through those.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Communion wafers. There's nothing on them.
yeah.
They're
They just
very
kind of
plain.
dissolve on your tongue. They feel kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, it is, it's just the body of Christ.
Yeah. Well, if it hasn't been blessed, it's just like crappy bread.
Wait, you know what we're talking about?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Actually,
great.
I do.
So you know
For that one.
transubstantiation?
Yes, I do.
Oh, so you've heard the good word.
I took a religions class in college,
Yeah, okay.
World's religions, just the monotheistic ones, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we don't have very much time, so I did want to ask you a couple of questions about growing up Jewish in
Right.
America.
Yes.
Now, you said that you were in a class for your bat mitzvah,
Mm-hmm.
and there were 30 people in there. Was that typical for you? Did you grow up surrounded by a lot of different people who were Jewish, or were you like lost in a sea of Christians?
I
or-
mean, kind of both. Like, in my school, there wasn't a lot of Jews around. But in my Hebrew school, there
Yeah.
were only Jews. So growing up Jewish, I also now find myself, I gravitate towards Jews. Like, it's the strangest thing.
like you
I will-
discover they're Jewish?
I like meet them and I'm like, oh my God, we have such an amazing connection. Like, what is this? I love it. And they're like, well, when I got bat mitzvah, I'm like, that's what it is.
Bingo.
Okay, figured
Yeah.
it out. So there was something about like, I grew up with a lot of Jews. Yeah. So I went to Jewish preschool. So for the first 5 years, it was just Jews. And my mom it was very important to her that the Jewish culture was embedded in my sister and my life. So she used to come to every year during Hanukkah, she would come from kindergarten to 5th grade and do a presentation for the entire grade about Hanukkah.
That's
Where we
awesome.
would do like a little skit where my name was like Rachel Green, and she would teach me about like the menorah and the entire grade. And I didn't want to do it like in 5th grade, and my friends were like, "Is your mom coming this year to do the Hanukkah presentation?" And I'm like, well, I guess she is now.
I don't know who her star is going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to do it? So, like, Judaism, I almost felt growing up, like, in elementary school, it was, like, my responsibility to teach kids that, like, being Jewish is okay, and it's, like, cool, and it's fine. So,
Good on you.
Yeah, and it actually kind of followed me.
We're getting rang again. I don't know if
This
it's
is
Mr.
Mr. Hilton?
We'll find
We'll
out.
see. We'll
Okay.
see.
One thing about that, Rachel Green, also, only Jewish girl I knew in my high school. Very weird that was the name.
Huh.
Hey, you're
Hello?
on Effin Rager.
Okay, next, Conrad again. Okay,
Oh, man.
so anyways.
Okay,
we
let's
got
deal with this. Yeah, what's up?
Paid trip, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, you name it. But you gotta let Jack Killen host in your absence.
Wait a
I think
second.
He's gonna be a great addition to
Hey,
what you
Conrad, I gotta ask you something. As someone who's been dead for several years, how do you know our friend Jack?
He's just really a stand-up guy. I mean, I just
Also,
really
I feel like if
appreciate
Jack's going to host the show, he needs to know that interruptions really ruin the flow of the show.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
It sounds like Jack put the wrong reference
Wait,
down.
but before we go any further, could you give me a free trip to Israel? It sounds like really cool.
You know what? I can throw in a free rental car from our friends at Enterprise. Thank you, Enterprise, for committing to great car service. So I just really appreciate, in your absence, Ned, when you're on this all-expense.
You can't even
trip.
advertise for shows on this show, man.
Look,
You just gave Enterprise an ad, and you want... Look, I think that you and Jack should...
And any other friends you have, let's be fair.
should probably take a course on ethics and maybe try again next time. But hey, we'll give Jack an internship if he wants to be our intern.
Oh, we could definitely use one of those.
Hey, he's a great co-host and fill-in, and I'd stand by him. So hopefully I can see you boys at our all-expense-paid resort and let Jack Killen take over the entire show, because he is just awesome.
All right.
Love what he's doing in the comedy scene
Hey.
around Houston.
All right. Well, thanks, Jack. We really appreciate that.
Hilton guy was there. Man, Jack Killen really wants to be Jack Fillin.
Golly. Anyway. Damn it. That totally threw me.
No, I know
He's going
where-
to call
yeah,
back. He's like, hey, this is Sarah Green.
This is Rachel Green.
I'm
It's
sorry.
Rachel Green.
It's her sister.
Right. So
She's
I felt
older now.
growing up Jewish. So then, like, this was huge in my like elementary school years, and then I was really, really active in my Jewish youth group in high school at my temple, and all of my best friends were in the youth group. Even the Christian ones, because they really wanted to be a part of it.
That's awesome.
Because we did like lock-ins and we went on like retreats, and Jews are fun, as we've discussed, lots of eating and drinking and partying. So I was the vice president and president of my youth group for 2 years. And then when I went to college,
held all branches of...
right. When I went to college, I was then very active in my Hillel. I was on the student board for 2 years, and then I led services on Friday night during Shabbat every Friday for 2 years.
Man.
Very Jewish. And I think this was all because when I was in elementary school, my mom like instilled that like being Jewish and teaching people that it's cool and okay was like very important, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a huge part of my upbringing, honestly.
Nowadays, do you consider yourself still like actively religious?
I don't know if I've ever considered myself actively religious. I've considered myself very culturally in tuned.
It sounds like the culture is so
very
embedded
separate.
in
Yeah,
you.
and
Like
it's also separate from the religion of it. Like I don't know. My parents raised me Jewish, but I don't think either one of them really believe in like capital G God. A lot of Jews don't believe in capital G God. There's a lot of Jews who like believe more in like there's so many different sects, like the universality of everyone being connected. Like Like the whole Kabbalah movement stems from Judaism, right?
Oh,
Yeah, we don't have to go there. I don't know anything about it.
okay.
So all I know is I spent a month and a half in Sfat, which is like the hub of Kabbalah, and that was really interesting. So I don't know if I was ever consider myself religious, but I've always been like very in tune to the Jewish culture. Since I moved back to Houston after graduating from UT, I will say that I've kind of like checked out a little bit of it. And I don't know why. Like, part of me kind of misses it. I know that my mom definitely misses it, because how am I supposed to find a nice Jewish husband if I'm not like embedded in the Jewish culture? But yeah, I do kind of miss it sometimes. And now I'm only like dragged to synagogue on the high holidays.
And I'm only dragged to radio shows to prove it.
Did your mom? Is there pressure from your mom to find a nice Jewish husband?
We should have talked about that the entire show.
Surprised you didn't call in.
Yes,
Are either of those boys Jewish?
The radio show. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, it happens.
I mean, my parents would, I imagine, they'd prefer for me to become a very active Christian again.
Sure.
And then they would prefer for me to marry someone of that faith. I don't know about you, Ned. Yeah.
I'd just be excited to see me married.
Yeah, I think that's the real thing.
Yeah.
My stepdad would be like, thank God.
Yeah, I think at this point that might be the general consensus for my family too.
This generation is lost. They're like, just please don't
Is it
die without
time?
spreading your seed.
We're getting married in like our 30s or something.
Yeah.
Ned and I are very excited for our future wedding.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, you know, we sit around the house and pitch ideas, I guess. I don't know. Well, Tasha, is there anything else you'd like to say about this topic before we move on to our next and final segment of the show? Any message you want to give to Jews in Houston or non-Jews?
Methods?
Messages.
Any methods you'd like to share?
Methods of Judaism? You know, I think my only message is that if you are Jewish, like, you know, just embrace it. You can't ever run from it. I think Judaism, it's like in your blood. No, it's like in your blood. You know, even if you try, like if someone meets me and they don't know I'm Jewish, I'm like, how did you not know I'm Jewish?
Drain it all you want. It's
and
in your
once you
blood.
like embrace into it, once you lean into it, I think that it can really be, you know, you can be on a radio show one day.
Never mind.
No. What do you got?
Well, you said, how can you talk to me and not realize I'm Jewish? Mm-hmm. Ned and I mean, what do you know what aspects of your personality make it obvious that you're Jewish? Because Ned and I didn't know.
Y'all didn't know I was Jewish?
I like kind of knew you were Jewish.
No, you kind of knew I was Jewish.
but I didn't know you were like Jewish. You know what I mean?
I think the biggest, I'm very loud, right? And like, my hair is pretty big. You can't tell now, but it's like pretty Jewy.
See, I told you, I brought this up
See, I really
before.
wanted to say she had Jewy hair, but I can't just say that now.
Growing up, I have ridiculously thick curly hair in high school, and I dealt with a lot of anti-Semitism growing up, which was totally misguided.
Yeah.
I was like, this is offensive to other people, but also to me, but like, I'm not your target right now.
Okay.
It's double offensive.
One more thing, the reason I'm in Houston, okay, not in Austin, is I got cast in a play back when I was a stage actor called Bad Jews. And the reason that, and it was the lead, and the reason that I got cast in this show is because the main character is supposed to have this thick, curly, brown hair. And my hair was down to here, and it was before I dyed it, so it was dark brown. So the reason I'm in Houston, literally, is because I'm a bad Jew.
All right. Yeah. Well, on that note, we're going to go to our last segment of the night here. Hang on. Let's get this going. Yeah. I want a new plug. Tell us what's going on. Tell us all the stuff you're doing after I sing this song. All right, Tasha, if you have anything to plug, now is the time.
Okay. So at Rec Room, there is a 60-minute micro opera called Hansel and Gretel happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 8, and also Saturday at 2. That's really fun if you want to see a different kind of holiday show. Also, I'm a photographer. I do a lot of headshots and events. So reach out.
Yeah, where can we find you on like social media or anything if we want to book you for a sesh?
It's Natasha Navan, Nivan Photography.
Oh, okay, and where can we find more information about Hansel and Gretel?
RecRoomArts.org.
Fantastic. And I've seen Tasha's work, photography. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I've seen some photos you've taken of different comedians and comedy people here in the city. You're great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It was fun.
All right, Ned, what about you?
Futile Society, the improv troupe, will be performing improv at the Secret Group every Thursday starting next Thursday until we stop getting booked, I think.
Okay. And tell me about that Labyrinth show.
Oh, the Labyrinth show. So, Splice Records. Let me clear it up. Splice Records in Houston does a festival every year in Houston and Austin called Bowie Elvis Fest, where different bands cover different songs from both David Bowie and Elvis Bowie. And Swimwear Department will be performing some songs from Labyrinth, the film that features David Bowie, and I'm very excited about it.
I want to be a roadie on that show. I really want to go see it.
It's actually called Fire Gang if you're a roadie.
Okay, I'll be a fire gang.
Fire Gang! Fire Gang! Yeah. What about you, Bowie?
Well, look, all I really want to plug is the Effin Rager Nights that we're doing this Saturday at 8 p.m. on our Facebook page. You can go to facebook.com/Effin Rager, like us to get more information. We have the event up as well. I think that's really all I have to plug. Next week
a plug and a shrug, my friend.
Look, next week we are wrapping up this religious show. We've got a really great guest lined up next
fantastic
week.
guest.
It's you sound like we don't have a guest.
No, it's a fantastic guest. I am elated, to say the least.
Yeah, we've got a great guest. We really hope you guys tune in to see at the end of all of this. And, hey, also, New Year's Eve, we've got another show. We've got a show Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Who'd have thought? 7 days apart. Didn't even do the math until this year.
Who should host New Year's Eve? Conrad Hilton. All right, that's our show, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.